lavender, palm, crude, baby, massage, essential, CBD. I just stabbed myself with the door handle again. It's like I don't remember it ever being there. I got the last parking space, but then I lost my keys. So I guess I live here now. I bit the inside of my mouth again. It's like I don't remember it ever being there. Don't go back to her, she'll only hurt you again. Hurt you again. I'm on the bus going back to her so she can hurt me again. Did she hurt you again? She did. Shocking. Don't go back to her, she'll only hurt you again. Hurt you again. I'm on the bus going back to her so she can hurt me again. Did she hurt you again? No, she did.
I was the unexpected item in the bagging area. You thought that you knew all the things that you put in your basket, but now you're held up, red lights flashing, and the assistant is busy. Maybe I'm a bag, or maybe that toothpaste weighs more than you thought. It was me. It was me.
Hands. You've got hands. I've definitely got hands, but hands are weird. They got that bit. They got that bit sort of bends. I mean, they all bend in like one or two ways each, and that's hugely upsetting. This one only bends. Well, that one bends in two ways. These bend in three ways because they got the one of them, and then they got all the lines and stuff. Hands are weird. And ready?
Ready.
Hello? Anyone home? Do you have life insurance? You got your will sorted? Just a few signatures and we can take over all that icky business for you. Will you be there at the end, signing papers, telling your loved ones which ones get the telly and which ones just get to feel ripped off? Unlikely. You're probably going to go mental and think you're an actual fish. Why not sign the papers now? Get that all over and done with while you still can. Yes, there will be problems, but for us, that's our guarantee.
awesome life insurance. Awesome with an O. Sounds like I made that up on the spot, but I'm reading it off my paperwork. No more problems for you. Nothing to worry about at all. Yes, it's our problem, but not yours. Erasmus Life Insurance, where the Rasmus is in the... And you won't even have to worry. Leave you alone forever. You'll never see me again. Obviously not. Would I ever go up the stairs or anywhere else where you're not? That's the awesome promise. We can do it really cheap right now if you just sign the paper. What we're really selling here is peace of mind. Can you actually guarantee that your family will know how you want your worldly possessions divided up after you die and split up between all those left alive while you are dead? Grief can do silly things to people. So why not let someone else take your own business and then you can just go back to living whatever kind of life you want. Judgment free, effectively. There will be problems. And it's not even that expensive. You just got to write a blank check, and then we'll fill all of the numbery type things. You don't got to worry about. No, want to get into heaven, don't you? How are you going to get into heaven when your family doesn't even know what you've left them? But I can see you're busy. You're not interested, so I'll see you later. Goodbye. What the f- And we did it. We successfully did it. We pressed the button, and now we're here. And really,
What?
That's the whole of the point I was making. No, I thought I had somewhere to go with that, and I don't. You're right, Ben.
Where would you like to go?
Would I like to go?
Yeah.
I really want to see America, but I don't want to have to do all the travelling that is involved with getting to America, you know? If
So
I could
you'd
just
like
turn
to
up
be
there.
in America.
Yes.
You don't want to go there.
Yeah.
That's not the question I asked then, is it?
That's the song, that's the new song from A Westlife Story. I want to already be in America. I want to already be in America. It doesn't flow very well, but it is.
I'd like to be in America.
I like the idea of being in America. Hi, this is the live stream. This is the bit before the podcast where me and Ben just sort of catch up.
Already in America.
Big tectonic plates.
I interrupted your intro because I was shouting about locations.
You did. I'm going to turn you up slightly. There's a little peek behind the curtain there.
I mean, I can turn me up.
I mean, I've already turned you up, so don't worry too much. As long as, like, when you record, it doesn't peak, it's all good.
My hair's looking very fluffy today.
Yes, kudos on the fluffy-looking hair, my brother. I thought I could pull off my brother. I don't think I can pull off saying my brother. My Ben.
It's the first time you've ever said that to me.
Yeah, 100%. I don't even say that to my actual brother.
No, because you know his name. Tony?
Kyle? Dunno. Can't remember. I'm sure I wrote it down somewhere.
Not a product placement, and I might have mentioned this on the show before, but have you tried this chocolate?
Tony's Chocolonely. Yeah, they got in trouble for kind of being into slavery despite being an anti-slavery company. Sorry, I didn't mean to cancel your favourite chocolate. I need to stop doing that. I've got this thing. Yeah, you're wrong. I need to stop that. It's no way to live.
I love their chocolate, and I really liked the fact that they were like, no slavery.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, should be the default.
Should be the default.
The fact
it's
now
weird
you've
that
said that the fact that they mentioned it makes it weird that they brought it up.
Yeah, why would you say it? It's like when the government said
why
that.
Would you say you're anti-slavery unless you kept slaves?
It's like when the It's like when the British government said there definitely won't be an October lockdown. We were like, that's weird. Why would you say that?
The shelves are empty for reasons we don't know.
Not sure. Just sort of happened.
Definite. I mean, I'm sure that we can't possibly know it because, like 60% of the media would report on something, unless maybe they had encouraged the something that has led to all of the badness. Go on, tell me why my currently favourite chocolate is actually the devil's work.
I don't know. I don't commit that to memory. Why would I commit it to memory? I know
you brought it up.
Yeah, I know the basic information to potentially ruin things people value, but I can't back it up with facts or stats, can I? Look at me.
Oh, so you might have just gone,
It could look, man. I could have seen a retweet a year ago and not looked into it because I got better things to do than worry about. I still eat it. I'm not.
Because it's fucking tasty.
Yeah. And if it's because of slavery, you know what? Maybe I like. No, I'm not gonna. I'm not even gonna finish that because someone will clip it, and then I'll get cancelled, and then I can't start my own chocolate brand or slave trading company. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, what a shame that the thing against slavery is actually.
It might not be. I could be wrong.
I mean, like I can read you the inside of the packet.
No, I know exactly what their marketing says. It says there's no slaves here. Don't even worry about it. Don't Google it.
It says boo slaves.
Right. Anything
else?
else?
It genuinely says, "Hey, what's going on inside here? So glad you asked, because this is a story about having nothing to hide."
If
so,
only.
Either.
Yeah.
Tony's is lying and they do have things to hide.
Yeah.
Or Liam has got confused with Nestle again.
No, I know that Nestle are already a problem. Wait, did Nestle buy Tony? No.
No, Tony's is
independent.
Tony's says that it is against certain chocolate companies.
Yeah.
That do slavery. Which, let's be honest, is Nestle.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do.
Yes.
I mean, there's going to have to be That's got to be a pretty fucking ballsy move by Nestle if they buy an anti-Nestle chocolate company and keep the anti-Nestle stuff on it.
That would be... That would be pretty evil.
That would be a very Nestle thing to do.
That's true. What have you been up to, Ben? What have you been doing?
I've been up to about here.
That's good. That's a good place to be.
Then I couldn't breathe, so I did the little hop you sometimes do. I went
right, just to keep your head above. Yeah, you got to do
and
that.
And then I just got out and laid on my towel.
That's good. Why are we talking about swimming?
Is that not what you were asking me about? Oh, I thought you said, "What have I been up to?" And I thought you meant swimming pools. In general life,
that's good.
Things seem to be returning a little bit more to normal, or at least everyone's under that impression.
Yeah, people are certainly acting as if it is, but I think that's because most people are kind of vaccinated now, but I guess, except for the children. Screw the children. I guess we'll see what happens.
They can't make their own decisions, Liam, unless they join ISIS, in which case it's all their fault.
Yes, it's funny how that works, isn't it?
I feel like I should just take that little bit back.
No. Let's join ISIS.
No. Allow me to rephrase. Unless they are groomed by terrorist organizations such as ISIS and certain parts of Christianity.
You don't need to say that, like, other extremist organizations are available. We know.
I mean, they are, but some people refuse to think that they exist.
Yes,
I think
certainly.
it's all from them over there.
I think it's public knowledge at this point that I'm not going to be working in schools come 2 weeks from today-ish.
It definitely is now.
So, like, I'm going to be talking way more about all the dumb stuff that happens in schools because they can't do anything about it. One of the things I like about working...
next week.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things I like about staff training around radicalization is they never mention ISIS or Al Qaeda or any organizations like that. They always talk about it from the perspective of the organizations that we have based here in the UK, like National Front, EDL, and so forth. And it's like, I remember when we first started having training about extremism, and I was like so uncomfortable. I was like, oh, I know exactly what they're going to talk about. It's going to be awful. We're going to assume that everyone that has a slightly darker skin color is going to be a terrorist. This is going to go really wrong. And it was a half-hour lecture about how to stop white nationalism in schools. And I was like, oh, this is weirdly uplifting, to be honest.
Don't sing Great Nation, Strong
Britain, Great Nation. Yes, that's the one. That's a bad idea. Yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah.
How did we get onto this point?
It was slavery. I'm glad we moved away from that.
Slavery. Yes, let's go. No, let's not go back to slavery. That was a bad time for a lot of people.
Still is.
No more.
Yeah. We take we make big statements on this podcast. Very divisive
No more
stuff.
Slavery.
Yeah, you got to stop the slavery, man. Let me tell you,
radicals here.
if you're a slaver, I've got 2 words for you. Stop it. Yeah, there you go. Stop it.
Stop it now,
please. It's important. You got to stay. You got to keep decorum. Otherwise, the terrorists have won.
Otherwise, they win.
You can't let the slavers win. Jesus Christ, we need to stop.
How are you doing, Liam?
Oh yeah, since quitting my job, like I'm serving out my notice and I'm doing a lot better. I'm not angry all the time. So I have less time in my life for rage. And I'm excited to kind of retrain and sort of re-specialize. I'm not moving away from music. I'm sort of trying to learn a little bit more about marketing and communications. And I think having sort of a background in comedy and storytelling is going to be quite helpful to that. I'm determined to not be one of those marketing tossers. But I might be. I don't know. So it might go wrong. Or I might get like a few weeks into it and be like, no, this is literally the worst. I'm out. So I'm going for
Describe to me what a... Sorry, go on.
I'm in like a period of transition in my life, and it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine, probably. You know what?
It is going to be fine.
Probably. It can only go so bad for me before I just die, I guess.
That's positive?
I think so. I definitely think, yeah. You had a question.
I did. I forgot it because I was caring about what you were saying.
Mazel tov.
I've had a very long day.
Yes, that's okay.
I said I'm fine, but my God, am I tired.
I don't know if we should do these in the evening, if I'm honest. Like, we had to reschedule this one thing because someone has something tomorrow, but I'm not sure if evening's the right call.
Yes, that was it. What would describe to me what you believe a marketing tosser would be?
Oh, so having done like a bit of precursory, is that a word? Yeah, having done a little bit of sort of
precursory.
Precursory. Having done a bit of precursory research and like a little bit of online learning already, like there's so much jargon and there's so many words that don't mean anything. And there's a lot of unnecessary language, and there's a lot of kind of gatekeeping where it seems like unless you have a certain set of words that you use all the time, and unless you talk in a certain way, unless you present yourself in a certain way, you're not marketing, and people aren't going to hire you to do marketing work. And my sort of response to that is, yeah, not for big business, but I don't want to work for big business because I have a soul and empathy. So why would I do that? If I'm going to work in marketing, I'm going to work in marketing for comedians, for people on YouTube, for live streamers, for musicians, like, you know, people who actually make stuff that's valuable. I've been in enough corporate
people you respect.
People I respect who actually make stuff and have a positive impact on the world around them, rather than an AI company that doesn't do anything but that look like they do, which is, I've been in those sort of corporate environments and I hate them. Though that's the biggest waste of money. Can we have some arts funding, please? Can we maybe have a venue? Oh no, we've got new tech. Oh, you've got an algorithm. What does the algorithm do? It makes other algorithms. That seems... Why? Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that, because I was... I think the whole point of marketing, or at least good marketing...
Yeah.
I saw an advert popped up the other day, and I went, "Oh, I like this advert. Yeah. It makes me feel good. It's the one where it's Rapunzel, and she's like, I'm fed up of waiting for my prince. I'm gonna take action myself. I'm gonna go and build a hairdressing empire. I don't need no man. It's none of that. Fuck the patriarchy. Yeah, screw you." And I went, "Do you know what? Yeah, I like that. Kudos to the advert.
Kudos to the advert.
The company. What was the company? Oh, it was Amazon."
This is the thing. Yeah.
And I think that's what good marketing is. Marketing is making you forget all of the shit that a company does and make you go, "Oh yeah, I like them."
That's
just based
the
on
awkward
a small
thing.
advert. For a minute, it makes you forget the horrible things that they've done.
But what seems mental to me about that is that could be an advert for any company. Any company. It just so...
Yeah.
What was like the message that they tried to have there? Was it like be your own badass boss bitch, or was it literally fuck the patriarchy?
I think that was genuinely the thing that they were going for, is
right.
Go and be, and I think they said she was her own bad boss.
Right, yeah.
They didn't say badass boss bitch because
shoulda.
Bad marketing. They couldn't show that up. They couldn't show that before the watershed. They'd have to
close the watershed.
Rather. They'd have to put it with all the McDonald's adverts and shit like that. But yeah, the whole thing was meant to be like, yeah, be your own person.
Be your own person.
Win. You don't need anyone else. You got the power. But really, the entire thing was, she bought a ladder off Amazon, and therefore her life is fantastic. It's genuinely it. The pivotal point of the advert is that she uses Amazon Prime to get a ladder because she's sick of waiting for a man.
And that could be an advert.
I agree with the fact. You shouldn't wait for someone to come and save you. You should make the decisions yourself. You should do these things. But you don't need Amazon. You don't need Bezos.
Yeah, that could be... What I don't like about that is that could be an advert for Ridgeons, B&Q, a man, a lady friend with a ladder, someone taller than you, the ladder shop up the road, height, the concept of height, things being closer to the ground. You know, that... It
could be promoting bungalows.
Could be bungalows, man. For some reason, it bothers me when adverts aren't like specific enough to that company. So, like, I will take that on board when I'm making so much money from Amazon. Almighty Colossus is here, which is incredible because they're actually awake.
Hey, Almighty Colossus, how you doing?
Good stuff.
I hope doing well. I don't have the chat open at the moment. Now I do. Yay!
It says you're a prick. Oh.
Oh.
He's good.
Sorry. Good.
Good.
I'm pleased.
Good.
Happy days.
Ben, hey, okay, here's a fun game. Come up with a product and I'll come up with a tagline now. This is my market. If I can't nail this, I'm not cut out to be in marketing, so...
Are you essentially doing like what Chandler from Friends tried to do when he got into advertising?
Yeah, 100%. Give me a product.
Right. I am
round food, to lift your mood. I thought that was a good one, to be honest.
I mean, yeah. It's not about... Everybody loves cookies.
Yeah, man.
I want you to create... I want you to give me a slogan, a positive slogan for inhumane mousetraps.
So the ones that kill them?
The ones I want you to... For the ones that are made of glue.
For
the ones
positive
for
caption.
The really unpleasant mousetraps. Go.
Hey.
Advertise the worst mousetrap.
Hey. Worried you'll fall in glue? Too many mice? Try this glue trap for mice. Because you got to use the glue trap because you yourself might fall in glue. And if you got too many mice, man. Tell you what, two solutions. 2 problems, 1 solution.
2 lotions.
2 lotions. Double the lotion.
It's the name of the product.
It's the name of the product.
Violent Vermin Vengeance.
Yeah. 3 Vs. Or 2 Ws and 1 V.
That works for the violent vermin.
Mm.
What about the good vermin, like Splinter? Actually, no, Splinter wasn't a good rat.
Was he not?
Do you know about the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No, I just thought he raised them.
It was yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But it was in the first comic book of it. Splinter. It's the whole thing of the nuclear waste or the goo that turns him into a rat and them into sort of humans. He was betrayed by Shredder.
Right.
And he raised the Ninja Turtles with the pure goal to murder Shredder. Which they do.
Okay, yeah.
Very, very aggressively and violently
in
the first comic. It's not all pizza.
How much of it is pizza?
A lot of the 90s comic.
Okay, that's good. It's a good amount of pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not...
Right. The green ooze.
I don't know. What's the green ooze?
Almighty Colossus is correct. It's the green ooze.
What is?
That makes them the thing.
Oh, I see. Oh, so the green ooze makes them big and the person rat raises them to be
That's what happens.
Violent turtles.
This is a really bad start, but I need to pee. Liam, during the time I go and wee, you have to come up with, possibly with the help of the chat, a marketing scheme that makes me sympathise with the murderous rat person that is the original Splinter.
Okay.
Okay, you've got
2
minutes.
2 minutes. I have to vamp for 2 minutes because Ben couldn't be bothered to go pee before we started the show. I'm going to write a letter about how I... Hello, Ben.
I've drunk a lot of coffee today, and I apologise for this.
All right, well, I was going to crowdsource a letter of how we fire Ben, but instead we'll just actually do the task, which I've already forgotten. Something about the mouse killing the guy, right? So we gotta... I could twist it again like I twisted the other thing and say, have you got too many people called Shredder in your life? In which case, rat aside, you know, it's not a good idea, but it is definitely words. Or we could say, what's more important than revenge? Yeah, what's more important than revenge? Fatherhood. Housing lost animals. Housing what orphaned. Housing genetic mutants. There we go. Housing orphaned mutants. Throwing stars. What's more important than revenge? Fatherhood, throwing stars, and then we need like a catchy summary, something like, what's his name again, Ben? The mouse, the rat man.
Splinter.
Splinter. Okay. I've got it. And this is reaffirming my belief that I'll be really good at this. So we're going to start off with a rhetorical question, and then we're going to answer that rhetorical question. What's more important than revenge? Question mark. Fatherhood. No, it's rhetorical. Housing. I swear to God, if you answer the fucking rhetorical question, I will cut you. What's more important than revenge? Fatherhood, housing orphaned mutants, throwing stars, pizza, Splinter, learning life the hard way.
Splinter's colon?
Yes, Splinter's colon. Splinter your colon? Go to your doctors. Doctors, fixing your butt. What's more important than fixing your butt?
Saving an endangered species, depending on what sort of turtle they were.
Is it an endangered species if they're giant mutants? Or is it just a genetic mistake? Or a nuclear malfunction?
Well, I mean, there was 4 of them, and they're all dudes, so arguably they would be an endangered species?
Yes, very quickly.
I think in the second live-action movie there was a lady Ninja Turtle.
Oh, yeah. There was a lady reporter that followed them around, wasn't there?
Yes, April O'Neil.
Right, of course you know her name.
She was not a turtle nor tortoise.
Yeah.
So...
Do
you know what? You've convinced me.
Yay.
Splinter being a psychopathic revenge murder boy.
He's a father. Fatherhood.
He's a father.
Orphans.
He's a teacher. He's a mentor.
Throwing stars. He's a pizza boy.
He's a little bit homicidal, but
where do they get the pizzas?
We forgive that of a lot of people. From the man.
From the man.
Yeah.
Suspicious.
The bizarre delivery man.
The bizarre delivery man. Has he got too many arms? Oh, I thought you said the bizarre. I was like, what, has he got too many arms? Does he float?
I mean, he might be a bit weird.
Wearing a cape for no reason.
He's delivering pizzas into the sewer and not questioning it.
He probably did what like all my friends who had a paper round did, and they just shoved all the papers into the bins. So he's probably doing the pizza equivalent of that.
He's just putting all the pizzas into the rubbish.
Yeah, he's misunderstood. He thinks the service he's providing is getting rid of these pizzas. He's completely misunderstood the purpose.
Where do the Ninja Turtles live? Because if it's New York, there's a good to fair chance that the pizza delivery man is Spider-Man.
I want to say Chicago.
Nah, they were getting New York style pizza delivered, mate.
Yeah, but then you just call it pizza.
There were no deep dish.
You can get New York style pizza anywhere. Yeah. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, because Chicago town has its own kind of right. But I'm sure you can get New York style pizza.
Most like I didn't realise. I found out recently that in Chicago style deep dish pizza stuff.
Yeah.
The sauce they put on the top, the marinara sauce, is cold.
What?
I was on board with it, and I'm sure that I've had a deep dish pizza that it's been hot.
Yeah, because
it's like uncooked marinara sauce that goes on the top.
So you make
of the cheesy bread.
Right. So you make a pizza and then you put sauce on top of it. So the pizza's hot, but then you put sauce on top.
Yeah,
sauce
you've
is
got
cold.
the
Okay.
bready stuff,
Yeah. The bread.
melted cheese, and then cold
Oh, I've only ever had like
marinara
the
sauce.
Chicago town pizzas, which are like basically quiches without the egg.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then I didn't
they
realize there
come
was a sauce that
frozen
went on top.
from major supermarkets, and you put them in the oven because pizza's hot.
Pizza's hot. There's not many things I know for sure, but that I'm pretty sure about.
Not controversial.
Oh, here we go. It's just about slavery again.
No, it's about pizza.
Oh, thank God.
It's not controversial, but pizza should be hot.
Yeah, unless it's called pizza. Unless
Unless
the
it's
morning
cold
after.
pizza, which is normally, I mean, it's not frozen. It's pizza that's been hot
Has
and then
been
is
hot.
now cold.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Pizza should have at some point been cooked.
Yes.
There's your
Certainly.
marketing slogan. Pizza. Sometimes, at some point, cooked.
I'm not going to start marketing things that people already have, because I'm not going to start marketing cold pizza because people already have the cold pizza, and whether or not they eat it is immaterial. We've already made the money off them, suckers.
We've already sold it.
Yeah, we've already done it. Job's done.
Which is why when I was vegetarian for a while, if I was at a buffet and there were like chipolata sausages,
Yeah.
I'd eat them.
Oh yeah, exactly.
They're already there.
Like
They've
if
been
you
cooked, they're either going in me or they're going in the bin.
if you're vegetarian or vegan, like, and you already have a leather jacket, you can wear. You've done it already. It's too late. You're better off
it's
wearing
there.
it than
It's-
getting rid of it. If you've got
Especially
guilt,
if it's
give it to
charity
someone
shop.
else. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If it's a charity shop, it's fine. It's been made. Someone else has paid for it. The cow skin industry is not getting a red bloodied scent from you.
I've got a great idea for a supervillain. I say supervillain, just a regular villain.
You say great idea.
Yeah, I say a lot of things. I'm in marketing. So, okay, a guy, because it would be a guy, who hangs out outside charity shops or otherwise has a network of spies that inform him when people buy second-hand leather goods from charity shops, and then he goes and murders a cow for every one item sold. So when someone's like, "Oh, I want a leather jacket, but I can't deal with the guilt," and they go and they buy a second-hand leather jacket, thinking they've absolved themselves of all moral do-goodery, and then this guy just goes in and straight up kills another cow.
And this is a superhero.
I said villain. I really clearly said villain. I wasn't sure about the word super.
Sorry. I was about to say, hang on. I remembered the super.
No. This is a
There's a
bad
suffix that I was
person.
struggling.
This is not someone to look up to, unless you're a psychopath.
Good, because it's just aggressive cow. It's added cow slaughter. That's not something that Superman would do.
No, exactly. Yeah, I completely agree.
Although there is the new DC animated movie coming out called Injustice, where Superman goes bananas and basically takes over, if not America, possibly the world.
Ooh, that's good.
It's not. It starts with
How many
genocide.
how many cows die? Asking
Do
the
I
big
have
questions.
to Google how many farm? Well, there's farms in Metropolis.
Yes.
Are there? No, it's a city. So I guess not many.
Well, if he takes over America, that's half the planet. So there's going to be some farms somewhere.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that he kills all the cows.
If I did it, I
Actually,
would.
he doesn't destroy Metropolis.
Oh.
Someone else does, and that sends in bananas.
Oh.
It's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer. Okay.
Does as Almighty Colossus ask, does he go insane because the Joker kills Lois, and it's not a spoiler because it happens at the beginning?
Yes.
Cool.
Joker kills. I think Joker kills Lois, who is pregnant with Superman's unborn child, and
You don't have to say unborn.
something.
If she's pregnant, we know.
Okay, she's pregnant.
With?
It's Superman's.
Good.
Both-
Has it been born yet?
And no.
Okay. Wonderful.
So just Preggers Lois.
Just Preggers Lois.
But in America, in America, that's alive anyway.
May as well be.
Then all of Metropolis goes.
Yeah.
And Superman goes fucking bananas.
I imagine he would. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's better than the video game because I played Injustice and I wasn't a fan.
Yes. Fair enough. Do we have any more inane banter in us, or shall we start the actual podcast?
Let's start the actual podcast.
Start the actual podcast.
Let's see how this goes.
Is your recorder ready? I'm pressing the wrong button.
My recorder isn't ready, but my flute is good to go. I think that's funny.
Was that loud? I'm sorry. I forget how loud it is.
I was unprepared.
You should know by now that you can't reference any instrument. I will probably have it to hand.
I was unprepared because I pressed record.
Yeah.
I was looking down. I am now recording.
Wonderful.
FYI. So I looked down. So I now think that the first thing that will be on the podcast is me going because Liam
did a flute.
Just blasted me with a flute.
I tooted a flute, didn't it? It was good. I liked it.
Flute.
Let me just find my notes. This podcast is about philosophy, by the way, for anyone that hasn't read any of the surrounding materials. So if you're a big thinker or a farty stinker, we got something for you. Marketing.
I am most certainly one of them.
What, a farty stinker? Yeah, fair.
More likely than that, yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Conversation App Podcast. The Conversation App Podcast. Hello. You've got to stop sighing in the middle of the intros, dude. You've got to stop. It's not great. Ruins the pace. It's fine. Hello and welcome to the Conversation App Podcast. This is a live stream podcast. I'm over here. Ben's over there.
I'm over here.
He's over there.
How's it going?
Hello. We are live. It's a slightly rearranged time. We're doing an evening thing, and I don't know if it's going to work, to be honest. I'm all out of sorts. I had an entire day, and now I'm here. Normally, I fall out of bed, and then it's live stream time.
I'll be honest. I'm very much the same. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know why this is happening.
Yes.
I'll let you finish the intro if you want, and then we can maybe talk about me for a little bit.
Sure. 3, 2, 1, podcast. Ooh. There we are. That was the intro.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That was...
concise.
Very concise.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah. I just thought I'd have a little extra 5 seconds to prepare or not, but no. But hey,
hi.
We're doing this on a Saturday night instead of a Sunday afternoon because I'm going to be busy tomorrow, the Sunday that we normally do this. I'm going to be off rehearsing.
Ooh, what are you going to be rehearsing?
I'm going to be rehearsing songs. I'm going to be in a production of Joseph and His Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
You're not rehearsing your plea bargain for when the cops get you?
Dude, that's been locked in for years.
Yeah, fair. Ben's in a sting operation.
Every 6 months it gets a rewrite just to
keep
make
it
sure
fresh.
that I've got the dates and the times okay.
That's good.
I swap I swap star signs.
Oh, cool. What are you going to be next? Sagittarius?
Today I'm Aries.
Nice. The Ram. Cool.
Yeah. Because it's getting cold.
Yeah.
It's getting colder. It's good to have a woolen jumper or something like
Woolen
that.
Body. Yeah, I feel you.
Keeps you cozy. Don't put your heating on.
No.
Don't put your heating on just yet.
Don't do
it is getting nippy. Close the windows unless you've got a visitor because COVID. But, just pop a jumper on.
Now, allow that. What you got to do is you got to go buy a bunch of petrol, just cover the inside of your house in petrol and just set it on fire. It's the eco thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to yes and that.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky.
I don't know if I want to be like, yeah, the best thing to do for the planet, burn your house down.
Yep. Because then...
I don't think it is.
I think if we were all hermits, the world would be better. So the first step is burning your house down. So go buy a bunch of petrol. There's loads of petrol. It's fine. If you can't get petrol, buy diesel. But buy twice as much.
Because it doesn't burn as well?
I have no idea. Because diesel seems to be the only thing that petrol stations have at the moment. So, like, I just feel like the sooner we run out of that, the sooner we can all get on with not having a fucking clue how to be a society anymore. We're talking about philosophy today. Ben, have you at any point studied philosophy in a official capacity of any sort?
Almost.
Oh, that's good. How does that work?
I was going to do it as an A level.
Mm-hmm.
However, during the so you had like little, almost not quite tester sessions, but as you were finishing your exams, you get to go and experience a brief lesson of what that course will be like.
Yeah.
And there were some people just sort of farting about and being dicks, not taking it seriously, I think just for whatever reasons. And the teacher was getting very cross. And then someone made a joke that I cannot even remember, and that caused me and my mate Chris, who was sat next to me, to laugh, and we were told that we should get out.
Ha! Incredible.
And we weren't allowed to apply to study philosophy.
Yeah, fair. I didn't laugh at the trap joke. I passed that particular test. Yeah, I studied philosophy at A level. Medium successfully. Basically, like I got really sick in my first year of A levels, so didn't do great on the exams, and it was sort of a coin flip as to whether or not I'd carry on into the A2 and finish the A level. And eventually what ended up happening was I did 2 courses at A level rather than the 3 or 4 that you're sort of encouraged to do. And I still didn't get very good grades because not academic and dyslexic, things that I only realised recently.
And things that you still to this day cannot spell.
Oh, hells yeah. So I liked studying philosophy a lot. I at the time I especially liked being a person that was studying philosophy, and I placed a lot of value in being one of them twats. And I was really smug about the fact that I was studying philosophy. I full on thought it made me better than most people. And like looking back on it, I feel embarrassed about a lot of sort of things I believed at the time, but then I was in 6th form. Like, that's the worst people are in 6th form. That's why you do it when you're young. You get it out of the way. But I am really happy that I did study it, because I feel like a lot of my sort of abilities at critical thinking, like if I see a news article with a headline that I don't quite believe, I'm not likely to go, ooh, maybe it is the terrorists that are winning. I'm more likely to go, what's the source, and actually have a bit of a think about it, rather than letting it run factors of my life. And I don't know if I would have that without philosophy.
Terrorists?
Who are the terrorists?
Sure.
It's billionaires.
Yeah, I mean that was where I was trying to be philosophical and be like, maybe it's not the ones you think.
Who causes terror on a day-to-day basis? Murdoch. He's probably listening.
Horror films. Oh, actually, yeah, good point.
Yeah, it's mostly Murdoch.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they do cause terror. I mean that fear sells papers.
I mean, let's just for a second focus on the meaning of the word terrorism, because what else are we going to do today? Terrorism isn't about the people you actually impact directly. So as much as it was awful that people have died in terrorist atrocities, it's not about the people that are impacted there and then. It's about everyone else that watches that happen. And because they're so afraid of that happening to them, or them being near that situation again, they change their way of life. So when we talk about the impact of 9/11, the terrorists won because we have to take our shoes off when we get on the big flying tube now. And then, yeah, going back to Murdoch and the papers and stuff, they are making you afraid so that you buy the paper. That's terrorism. I didn't think we'd get here on this live stream, but here we are.
I certainly didn't think we'd get here in the podcast section of the live
like
stream.
Ever.
During the first hour.
Yeah, bets are off.
But the bit that we actually record.
Oh, no. The bit that there's evidence of.
I mean, hey, let's just double down and lean into this. It's the same reason why... I mean, we are not in any way saying that the fact that people have died through acts of terrorism is not awful and sad and a terrible sort of thing.
Broad strokes, bad thing.
It's all bad. Don't do it. Come on.
Less of that, please.
It's the same way that murder and suicide are illegal, not because of what happens necessarily to the person who has killed themselves or been killed, because they're dead.
Yep. Doesn't matter.
Whether you believe in an afterlife of any sort, or reincarnation, or anything like that, or not, beyond the point. So the impact that it has on the people who were in the life of the person that is not here anymore.
Yeah. It's about the impact on other people. So
once again, welcome to the Conversation Hat podcast on philosophy. Our hot take: terrorism, murder, not great.
We'll just call this episode "Come at Me, Murdoch, you old bastard." Let's see what you got.
Oh, that's a very unpleasant sentence.
Come on my face, Daddy Murdoch.
Oh, come at me, Murdoch.
No, get off my Murdoch.
Get off my Murdoch.
I was raised on a farm, so I know how to get someone to... Never mind. Ben Malov.
I'm scared of what you're about to say. Yes.
Ben
yes,
Malovely. What is philosophy? Why are we here? What's going on? Where's my tablets?
There you go. That's philosophy.
Basically,
why are we here? What is going on? I think I made a note whilst looking through things.
That's good.
I think philosophy is asking questions that are not necessarily answerable.
Oh, I like that.
Or at least very much open to interpretation.
Yeah, I like that.
People can say, what are we here for? And you can get so many different answers to that question. None of them necessarily right. There will be answers that are wrong.
Yeah.
Like, what are we here for? DFS sales. Probably not the closest answer to the truth.
I tell you what, though, as long as curries keep cutting prices, I will continue to be alive. But the day that stops, I'm out. Capitalism.
Do you often shop at Currys?
No.
Well, I guess that gives you a good sort of like buffer for finding out whether they, maybe they don't have a sale on for a while. They're not cutting prices, but because you don't shop there, you've not noticed for a while, and then they've got another sale on, and you go, whew.
The less attention I pay to curries, the less likely I am to kill myself. So that's probably good.
Which could be flipped around. The less that you pay attention to the meaning of life, the more meaning you will find in life.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You've said a lot of words there, and I don't necessarily disagree with them.
You're a fan of QI.
Yeah.
As I am.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were discussing philosophy or just thought processes, but they were talking about like the little nuggets of advice. Alan Davis says that there's a lot of things that you can say that you can also reverse that sound very deep and philosophical, but aren't necessarily true.
Right. Yeah.
For example, you can't change your brain, you can change your mind.
Oh. Yeah.
Or you can just reverse it. You can change your mind, but you can't change your brain. Very much sort of like, yes, I understand, I get it. I get what you mean there. Utterly meaningless.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the person who was saying it, in this example, Alan Davis, didn't mean shit.
Yeah.
But you can put meaning onto those words no matter what way round they're said.
Yeah, totally.
That's what I'm going to say philosophy is.
The rearranging of words.
No, the meaning that the meaning that people en masse will put into arguably meaningless words, but yeah. It's making you. It's the shit that makes you think.
I think what you've got there is basically what philosophy is currently. I'm a little more concerned with like where words come from, where like the practices or hobbies or whatever like come from initially, the history of stuff. I think you're right. I think philosophy at present is used quite generally to refer to an outlook on life, or what people use to reckon things, you know. But in ancient Greece, words used to actually mean something. Philosophia was the ancient Greek word for love of wisdom. And then philosophy.
Philosophia?
Yeah.
I don't even know her.
This is my favourite joke, and that was a good one. That was a really good one.
Thank you.
Philosophia.
I couldn't not.
Philosophia, love of wisdom. And out of that comes philosophy, which is basically an academic study involving the asking of questions and the attempt to answer them through structured logic. It's about the pursuit of truth through structured logic. And one of the common ways to do this is you take two or more premises and then from that derive a conclusion. For example, snow is cold is premise 1. Premise 2 is I am standing in snow, and the conclusion is therefore I am cold. Yeah? 2 premises equal a conclusion, and that is like the process of philosophy, is working something out logically. And in ancient Greece, they sort of divided science and philosophy, and science was the study of things that are measurable and observational, so physics, chemical reactions, that sort of thing, whilst philosophy looked at questions outside of what we can physically see. Is there a God? Why are we here? Who changed the Toblerones? That sort of thing. So kind of, as you said, like answering the unanswerable.
I mean, isn't the Toblerone? I'm pretty sure the Toblerone is a bit Brexity, isn't it?
It was definitely Brexity.
It feels Brexity.
It's one of them things that feels Brexity. There's separate schools of philosophy. This is quite interesting. There's metaphysics, which is all about the nature of reality, what is real. Epistemology, which is the nature and scope of knowledge. So how do we come to know things? What is knowledge? Ethics, which evaluates human conduct. I paused in the middle of conduct there. Basically right versus wrong. And aesthetics, which is the nature of beauty.
Ooh.
Mm.
I was just going to say the conduct is how prisoners escape.
Yes. Through
climb up into the conduct and
orchestral music. Oh,
Shawshank their way out.
You got to Shawshank it, buddy. I thought you were going to make like a conducting orchestra pun. That's just where I thought you were going to go.
The most difficult instrument to master, the stick.
Everything. Everything. Pen. I know, I heard. We all heard.
Sorry.
So, with that in mind, what makes a philosopher was sort of my next question. So, by the basis of what I've sort of said, and that kind of information comes from at least 2 YouTube videos, and what I remember of philosophy from A-level. Like, I watched 2 YouTube videos, one with a lot of views and one with not a lot of views, so I feel like I've really covered the whole gambit there. what makes a philosopher?
You've gone through all the mathematical averages.
Oh yeah, 100%. We do philosophy anytime we make a reasoned decision. So if you go for a walk instead of watching a movie, you've decided that that's better for some reason. Doesn't matter what that reason is. You've chosen one over the other. So you've done a philosophy there, by the most technical of meanings. But what makes you a philosopher? And the thing that I was told, which makes perfect sense to me, is you are a philosopher if you have published a philosophical work. So you've made a book, you've written a book, and you've published it. That makes you a philosopher.
Okay, so like a poet. You're a proper poet if you've been published.
If you stand on the street corner yelling stuff, whether it be your political reckonings or poetry, you're not that until you've actually published a work. And this can get a little bit tricky when we talk about the modern day, because of course, well, what counts as publishing? You can self-publish anything you like. So I think we'd have to reevaluate that for the modern day, and that's not a job for me. I'm a podcaster. So we were talking a bit about when we started on this subject, Ben, about what a modern philosopher is, and we sort of thought, well, is a comedian a philosopher? Oh no, that's not what you want. I made him think too hard and he went away, and now you can see that I'm on Skype. That's good, isn't it? Am I still connected? Yes, I am still connected. Let's just give him a little call back and see what happens there. It's my face twice. Hope you like that music. I wonder what happened there. Come on, Ben. It's going to be something really futile, like the battery on Ben's laptop gave out. Or something like that, isn't it? Oh. Hello.
I genuinely have no idea what happened.
What?
You were making noise, but you weren't moving, and now you're back, and I feel bad.
What? So, are you still recording? What was it? Just Skype that went, or was it your laptop?
I think I'm still recording.
Just give it a double check.
Yes, I am still recording.
Okay.
Yep. We're good.
Cool. That's right. Just get your mic on, and we'll just pick up where it's fallen. It's run away. It's had enough. Let's just call it Skype being a pain in the ass for some reason.
I'm just blaming.
It's all good.
Everything but myself.
Yeah, you're blameless in this. It's all good. Don't worry.
Blameless, and that's my.
So that was amazingly well timed, because I was literally I was throwing it to you in that moment. I was saying we were talking about whether or not comedians are philosophers, or as close as we can get in the modern day.
Yes. Yeah, we were talking about modern philosophers and whether they exist or not. There is a relatively common thought process that comedians, stand-up comics, and social commenters, I suppose you could call them, are modern-day philosophers, which some people I found during research very much disagree.
Sure.
But I feel that the reason that those people disagree are the reasons that we call them stand-up comics instead of philosophers.
Right.
These, like, if we go back to, ancient Greece is where you think of philosophers, really.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's where my mind goes.
Yeah.
And it's always, you never know the entire life. You never know a huge amount about about the philosophers, it's always just a few little inspirational nuggets. I think, therefore I am. Those sorts of little thought processes.
Yeah.
Modern day comics, they're doing their job to partly entertain. They're not doing it to necessarily make you think, although you may think as a byproduct. Perhaps in 500 years, we may think of Lee Evans as a great satirical thinker, and maybe another 500 years we could consider him a philosopher. Maybe not for his material about airplane toilets and how terrifying the suck function, the sucking of the flush would be.
Yeah.
But perhaps for his song Happy Go Lucky, where things come easily to this man, but that doesn't mean that he's a happy person.
Right.
So you could go back and, if you condense all of Lee Evans' life into the feeling behind that one song, it might come down to something along the lines of, well, he believed that just because things went well for you did not mean that you would be happy.
It's interesting, isn't it? The thing about comedy is that you when you make a joke, you're not, there's intention behind what it is you're actually saying. There's subtext to whatever the joke is. So you could make a funny joke about someone being mistreated, and the butt of the joke could be someone who doesn't deserve to be mistreated. But the point of the joke, the subtext is, isn't it bad how we treat one another? And I think that's kind of possibly what you were alluding to. That's the thing that stops them from being philosophers, because they're not being direct with what they're saying. They're sort of hiding it behind jokes. They don't want you to take the subtext away. That's not the bit you're there for. The entertaining bit is the joke built on that subtext.
Sure.
But that,
yeah, you're mainly there to be entertained, not necessarily to. It's good if you can make someone think.
Yes.
I mean, the same here. We're not necessarily pushing an agenda.
Well,
whatever you may, but I mean, there's little bits.
Yeah.
We started the show by saying, "Don't be a terrorist."
Yeah, I think that's a good hill to die on.
That's a good takeaway.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily why we're here.
Yes.
We would like to make you giggle from time to time, as well as encouraging
you
to not become...
if we stop one terrorist, I'd call that a win. I think that's pretty good. I think that the main thing about whether or not comedians are philosophers is they tend not to put forward any ideas that are like completely their own. They put forward jokes that are their own. That's the product they make, but there's not often individual thoughts or ways of thinking about the world that are unique to them. It might, as you said earlier, sort of encourage you to look at things in a new way, but not necessarily a brand new way, globally speaking. But one interesting parallel between philosophers and comedians is sort of the use of story and allegory. Like philosophers, we're going to talk about Plato's Cave in a bit, which is an allegory. It's a story built to say something else. Like Plato's got a point to make, but he's telling you his point through a story. And comedians do the same thing. They have their subtext that they're trying to deliver, but they use story and allegory to deliver it. So that, I just thought that was an interesting parallel between philosophers and comedians. And another thing, I guess, to bear in mind when people say, comedians are as close as we can get to philosophers, is the sort of the philosophical structure that I referred to earlier, the premises followed by a conclusion. Comedians do that, and they'll give you premises and they'll construct a logical conclusion from those premises, but the reason it's funny is because those premises are usually flawed in some way. So they're using the philosophical construct, but they're making a falsehood because it's a joke. It's not there to make you a better person. Yeah. It's there to make you laugh. So it's Yeah, so they're still using the logical conclusion structure, but they're not truth seekers. And I've got I want to talk about truth a little bit because I think this is quite important. I'm going somewhere here. Bear with me.
Okay, I'll let you go, and then I've gotta
And then I'll back away. And
then it's mine.
Yeah, then I'm done for like most of the podcast after this, to be honest. It's hard to talk about modern philosophy in 2021 without talking about people like Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, people like that, because they definitely want to be seen as thought leaders. The problem is they're not philosophers, they're arseholes. And you with me so far? You with me? You good?
The worst possible moment.
Yeah, you timed that awfully.
Water.
So, they're not philosophers.
My friend was like,
Wait.
think about who these people. Do I know these people? I should ask Liam before he gets too invested in this. Have a sip of what? They're arseholes.
They're not important. I'll get to that. I'll get to why. They're not philosophers, they're arseholes. Okay. They use very simple philosophical reasoning, the same way that comedians might do. The problem with them is that they use this philosophical reasoning to say things that are detrimental to society. And it's the same thing as with comedians. Their premises are flawed, but they're doing it to be evil rather than to make people laugh. So I could say, for example, ice cream is a healthy treat. And I like to be healthy, therefore I like ice cream. And that's a valid philosophical structure, and that's a logical conclusion to those premises. And it sounds good, but it's not true, is it? So, no, Ben Shapiro, I'm not going to debate you. Go on.
Oh, no, I was about to say I could make an argument for ice cream being a healthy treat.
Yeah, but healthy maybe not.
I was about to say, it fully depends on where you put the inflection. If it's a healthy treat...
Yeah.
No.
I meant in the same way like an apple
treat.
Is. Yeah.
It's not like an apple or anything like that, but it could make you feel better, which would be a healthy thing.
Yeah.
You should not necessarily deny yourself every single pleasure, because that is unhealthy. So ice cream could be a healthy treat.
Yeah.
But it's not healthy for you.
No.
In a physical, healthy way.
I do love semantics. It's honestly one of my favourite things.
Again, that's pretty close to philosophy, I think. You can say a lot
just
of stuff.
Words. So,
as long as you no, this is what I meant.
So when Ben Shapiro challenges you to a debate, you've got to say no, because you're not going to get a debate. You're going to get Ben Shapiro being an arsehole. People like Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, Katie Hopkins, Lawrence Fox, they all get away with this kind of arseholery because they hide under a thin blanket of free speech. They are arseholes because it makes them money. They are selfish. They are arseholes. Life would be better if they all gathered under a cartoon anvil with the words, "This is what you get for being an arsehole," painted on the underneath, so they could read it and fully understand its meaning as they stood petrified, staring upwards at the anvil, knowing they wasted their pitiful little lives for several minutes as it plummets towards their fragile fucking skulls, and at the last possible moment the clouds part and Abraham sticks his head out, Lincoln, obviously, and he reminds them that the most important thing about philosophy is truth. What they've been spending their stupid lives doing isn't pursuing truth, it's perverting it for financial gain, disregarding any effect they might have had on society. And that's not philosophy, because words have meaning. They're just being arseholes. Their dull, stupid arsehole brains freeze, the dying moment, sending it into eternity while their bodies are crushed into a gross, meaty gazpacho. The silver lining, of course, is that these arseholes will not be remembered in 200 years' time. The only lasting reference to them will be a time capsule containing this episode of the Conversation App podcast, and the archaeologists of the future will say, "Wow, they sound like arseholes. I'm glad we have no idea who they are. Fuck you. I'm done. It's your show now, I can leave." Ben still has no idea who these four people are, do you?
I know who Katie Hopkins is, so I've just applied all of my feelings towards Katie Hopkins onto those people.
You've used logical reasoning to assume it's the same person, which it basically is.
Wow. wow.
Mm.
That
I
came
didn't-
from somewhere, and I respect it.
I didn't know I was angry about that until literally this morning.
I got a feeling that I've picked up that you may well be a little pissed off.
I feel ways about things.
A little pissed off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, is there space for philosophers in modern society? No. No, there's not. There's not. Because why would people be a philosopher in 2021? You do it to earn money because it'd be the job. But the cool thing about you're going to talk about Diogenes in a bit, so I'm not going to like bogart your point. But the cool thing about Diogenes is, whether he was wrong or right, he absolutely lived by his principles. He didn't do it for monetary gain because he didn't give a damn about money.
Damn straight.
I think it would be really impossible to be a philosopher at the moment because we live in this kind of late capitalist structure where like you can't sort of piss off and live on a mountain for a bit because you'll die. Yeah.
I mean, it's a hell of a lot trickier than it used to be.
Oh yeah.
I would gather.
I would assume
at least
so.
from what I know about hermits and stuff from the past.
Yeah.
Which isn't a huge amount, I'll be honest with you.
Do you think we need philosophy? Like, as in, do you think we need new philosophical thought? All the old philosophy exists. We have Diogenes, Sartre, Plato, and other people that I definitely remember the names of. J.S. Mill. Bent them in a box. We have them. We have their beliefs and their books already. Do you think we need new philosophical thought?
Well, I was going to go for a couple of different things. Like, let's rewind a little bit, go back to the comedians.
Yes.
I would argue that potentially they are not the only modern-day philosophers. For example, singer-songwriters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know you're not a fan of Queen.
Nah.
But one that just sort of popped into my head while I was thinking about this is the song "Who Wants to Live Forever."
Yeah.
It poses the question: do you want to live forever? A lot of people don't want to die.
Yeah.
Or are afraid of death. But would living forever be favourable over dying? It's a way of making you think, and by extension, you could use that to question almost anything in your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the topic of, are there modern philosophers at the moment? But slightly reordering. Do we need modern philosophy? I think that it's important not to forget the old stuff.
Yes.
Granted, some of it's not as relevant, but a lot of it is still the mechanics of the human brain.
Yes.
I think it's important that perhaps, if it's not necessarily repeated, it may be, if not reinvented, it should be repeated in a way that is more applicable to modern times.
Yeah. Updated.
Yeah. So, carpe diem.
Mm-hmm.
So old a phrase, a philosophy, that it's in Latin. What no one speaks no more, because everyone what knew it is dead.
Yeah.
That's why it's a dead language. It's only Stephen Fry and about 2 other people who speak Latin. And oh no, the modern equivalent has just popped into my head, and it is YOLO, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something that it's the same thing.
Yeah, seize the day. You only live once.
Whether someone uses that to, I don't know, try and fuck all the McNuggets in the McDonald's fryer, which seems a lot more YOLO than Carpe Diem.
But before YOLO, Carpe Diem was adopted by... Carpe Diem was abducted by fuckwits as well to do whatever fuckwit stuff they wanted to do. So like whatever whatever philosophy you update, whatever belief system you have, it's going to be bastardized at some point. That's just part of life.
People will use it for a reason that it was not meant to be.
Yeah, bants.
Yeah, I can get away with it because this.
Yeah, exactly.
Which brings me on to the next point of is there modern philosophy? Memes or memes or memes.
Meme.
I do not, off the top of my head, remember the name of the bloke who came up with the memes.
Dawkins.
Or the concept of memes. Was it?
He didn't come up with memes. He was the first person to use the word meme.
Coined the phrase.
But he didn't necessarily mean pictures from Toy Story with captions.
No,
it was more of like a contemporary idea.
To be little tiny. It was meant to signify ideas that made you think, that made your mind go.
A cultural idea. Work. Yeah.
Now, yes, there are some that are stills from Toy Story with sexual captions underneath.
Hells yeah.
Hilarious.
All of them great.
Don't get me wrong. I think it's very funny. But there are still some that do make you think.
Yeah.
Even if it's to the point where it's a gorgeous picture of mountains and then the text just says, this is inspirational because it's text over mountains. Not necessarily going to change the world, but it does make you think, it does make you criticize all of the ones that are inspirational, where it's mountains or a desert or an eagle going freedom, justice, sand. It makes you critical. It makes you think adversely, or it makes you think in a different way than you necessarily were.
Yeah.
Would I say they were philosophy? Perhaps not, but it's a different modern way of challenging preconceptions.
Sure.
That might be one of the smartest sentences we've said on the live streams.
I feel a bit like something that philosophers seem to have in common is they're quite quick to tell people how to live their lives in pursuit of what is true or what is beautiful or what is right. And like, I wonder if the closest thing we have to philosophers, closer than comedians, is lifestyle bloggers, to be honest. If someone's telling you to cut out quinoa because it'll bring you closer to God, like, is that not more in keeping with philosophy than comedians are? I don't know. But so maybe there are things that are similar to philosophers, but I'm not sure we necessarily need philosophy. I think in the grand scheme of things, I think there's more things that are way more important. Like I wish we taught people empathy and critical thinking. I think once we stop getting dumber as a species, I think we're I think we need to stop getting progressively dumber as a species, and then maybe more philosophical thought will come. Because we have so much free time at the moment that we just fill with Netflix and TikTok, where we could be thinking about the nature of reality. But, like, maybe you don't want to take acid. I don't know. Pariah Pill on Twitch there is saying so many profound philosophers on 4chan. Yeah, that's more of like the Jordan Peterson kind of camp of people who just die under a cartoon anvil, maybe. Just making a broad generalization about 4chan there. But I don't care. Come at me, 4chan. It's all good.
I don't know what that one is. Is it like Reddit?
It's like, okay, I'm going to use some words.
Now we've just turned into two old men.
So I'm saying this. I'm gonna describe 4chan in a way, and I want you to be fully aware that I know exactly how you feel about Reddit when I make this comparison. Okay? 4chan is like Reddit, but for awful people.
So, Twitter?
No. I think Twitter's slightly better than Reddit. Because the good thing about Twitter...
Ooh.
No, it
Ooh.
absolutely is. No, it absolutely is. Because the thing about Twitter is you can just avoid...
I wasn't questioning. I was just coming to a realization.
So the thing about Twitter is that you can absolutely avoid all of the horrible stuff in the universe. It won't come looking for you if you don't go looking for it. Whereas Reddit, someone's going to cuss you out, even if you're not leaving comments on something. They will find you and they will make you feel bad. Like, they will just find you and make you feel bad. Yeah, I am very narrow-minded, and that's why I'm not a philosopher. Never claimed to be a philosopher. My my A-level certificates will verify that I'm not qualified to think about anything, much less say things out loud.
Yeah, but what does education show about the complexity of human mind and soul, really?
Nothing, and that's the problem.
Might have just shown you had a shitty maths teacher.
Yeah. I did some research into togas, because that's tangentially related to philosophy, isn't it? Do you want to hear about togas?
I mean, I do have to say that I love that we did whatever amount of research that we did, and yet we have somehow managed to talk for just over 45 minutes about philosophy without getting into any part of the things that we had pre-prepared.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry, were you under the impression that that little spiel was not completely scripted because it's there in front of me? I was not vamping that.
About the cartoon anvil onto Katie Hopkins, I did feel may have been premeditated.
And her fragile fucking skull.
It's her fucking skull, the one
fucking
she uses to bone.
Ha, I get it.
But no, I like that, you know, the one about philosophy, we've just talked nonsense for 45 minutes, which I feel does philosophy, well, not necessarily respect or...
Peria Pill was paid to mention 4chan, apparently. I don't blame you, it's late stage capitalism. Get that dollar wherever you can, buddy. I'm here for it.
I love the idea that someone gets paid to go through Twitch streams. 4chan!
It's guerrilla marketing. Hey, what a wonderful Fall Guys stream. You guys should talk about 4chan for a little bit. Togas, Ben. Togas. So, I sort of picked togas as a bit of a joke. But I thought it might be fun because what's more evocative when you talk about philosophy and early democracy, what's more evocative than an old Greek dude holding a bunch of scrolls and wearing a toga? Turns out anything, you fucking idiot, because togas aren't ancient Greek. Yeah, they were not wearing togas. They were wearing
Colour me intrigued.
Something else. Togas are an ancient Roman... There's a slight delay.
Are they wearing jodhpurs?
Yeah, they're all wearing jodhpurs. And for some reason, peaked hats as well. Farmers. I'm thinking of farmers again, aren't I?
You are.
Togas are an ancient Roman invention. The Greeks wore something called an enkykla. I'm gonna shove that in the chat. Enkykla. E-N-K... Oh no, screwed up. E-N-K-Y-L... Damn it. This is dyslexic's worst nightmare. E-N-K-Y-K-L-A. Or Enkyklon for plural. E-N-K-Y-K-L-O-N. Enkyklon for plural. Ancient Greeks wore something called an enkykla, or enkyklon. They are different, and yes, it matters because words have meaning. The difference is the shape. Togas are semicircular cloth, and enkyklon are rectangular. They're both draped over the body in kind of the same way, and then sometimes like fastened around the middle or something. As far as I can work out, the reason we think togas is what the ancient Greeks wore, the reason that I've never heard of the word enkyklon before this morning, Romans placed a lot of importance on the style and the type of toga that you wore. There was they had rims around the toga that were coloured, and that could indicate a person's age or social status. Whereas the Enkikla, whatever, they were just clothes. There was no value placed on them. It's just what you wore to not be gross and naked the whole time. So I guess because the Romans put so much value on togas, that's why we have that word still in circulation. In contemporary discourse, Enkliklononikons, whereas the Greeks didn't care about their clothes, so we just lost that word. So togas. I learned a thing about togas.
I love that. I really tried to Google the spelling of that word that you said, Enkliklons, which you may or may not be saying correctly, so I may be repeating it wrong. But
who knows?
It took me a second to open Google, so I must have spelled it so wrong that it's just gone no. It's giving me a suggestion. There's lots of languages on this screen. So, did you mean nylon toga?
No.
And I have cosplay ideas for My Hero Academia characters.
Okay, that's fair.
So yeah. I don't know how to pronounce it either.
No, it's very, very hard to find any evidence of it. And there's only a couple blogs that mention it as well, which I thought was quite interesting. Rock and roll. We did also research a couple philosophers. We deliberately wanted to find philosophers that had a big impact in contemporary thought, who also did real dumb stuff. Which is what we normally tend to do. We normally make a point and then undermine it massively. That's sort of our whole vibe. I have two, Ben. Did you have one? Shall I do one and then you do one and then I'll do another one?
I have one. I did want to get more, but I got so invested in this one this one guy.
Okay, that's all good.
That yeah, it's all I've got and all I've been able to think about for the last couple of days.
I love that you're so enamored. I'm going to talk at you for a bit about Jean-Paul Sartre. Hard to spell, hard to look at, ugly man. He was French.
Oh.
Truly. Google Sartre. He was French. He was born in 1905, and Sartre studied and pondered existentialism. And he published his famous work, Being and Nothingness, in 1945. It's famous because people didn't have a damn clue what it was about. Oh boy. They read it and they were like, this is very well put together. What does it mean? And that's why he was famous. He's a few of the building blocks about what Sartre believed. Sartre believed in absurdity. The world is weird. The world is, in fact, weirder than you think it is. And when you start to think about the building blocks of very basic everyday activities, they're actually pretty weird if you think about it. Like, having sandwiches and coffee with your mum, if you think about it for long enough, is there's this person, right? And you fell out of her. And over time, you've grown to be about the same size. And someone somewhere has cut up a cow real thin, put it in between two bits of yeast, and you have given them money. It's not actual money because it's just paper that represents theoretical gold. And then you're going to put that inside of your body. You're going to macerate it with your mouth, and then you're going to poop it out in a bit. And you need to do that again the next day. And if you don't call your mum on the weekend, she gets angry at you, even though all you've ever reasonably done is fall out of her. Of course, if you frame anything like that, it is weird. But that's sort of his point.
Yeah, I mean, if you focus closely enough on anything, it's weird.
But that's very much what he believes in.
This is why I think that children don't like going to sleep.
Right.
Because you're saying to a child, go to sleep. Probably because you're sick of dealing with the child. Mm-hmm. Go to sleep. It's bedtime. Children don't see it like that.
No.
It's just go, lay down in the dark for hours
and stay there. Especially children who are famous for
Stay
running
there.
around and causing a mess. They've got to stay in one place for a bit. Not on.
And if they get out, you go, no, back into
You're a
the
bad
darkness.
person. You got out of bed. Can't be having that. And yeah, so he's onto something there. The world is pretty weird. The more you think about it, the weirder it gets. Another thing that's quite important to Sartre is freedom. Humans don't know what they're doing because they're weird, I guess. You don't need to get a job. You don't need to go to school. You don't need to have brunch with the girls because those things, they're all made up. They're farcical. We've just invented them for no reason, and now you have to call your mum on the weekend. You're free to do whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly, especially brunch. Sartre wants people to live freely and open their eyes to the possibilities beyond what should be. He says that doing otherwise is living in bad faith. I think there's an example he gives, I think, of a waiter who's so into the idea of being a waiter that he's wearing a waiter's clothes and he's waiting on people and he's rigid and he's asking people if the food's okay. And he's acting like a waiter rather than acting like a human being. Like, he could just, like, jump up on a table, get his dick out and try to fly. He doesn't because he's a waiter. But maybe he should because he's a person and there's infinite possibilities. We can do anything. But he went to waiting school and he needs to go call his mum, so...
There are, don't Google this now, Google it later, but there are records of people in restaurants jumping on the table and cutting their dicks off.
Yeah. No, don't Google that before you go to bed. Google that first thing in the morning.
Don't Google it. Maybe not first thing in the morning.
No, I think it's better to ruin the entire day than... I think it's better to ruin the entire day than risk that appearing in your brain at night. Lastly, for Sartre, we are free. You good? I'd rather have it ruin a day, to be honest. Than...
Better fuck up your conscience mind for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Risk dreaming of
my
flying dicks.
I don't want to know what my unconscious brain could do with that, because my unconscious brain has taken, hey Liam, you're at a happy place in your life, and it's fucked that up. So imagine what it could do with some awful shit. Like, I don't want to give it the chance, you know.
I think it tries to turn it into comedy, Liam.
Ah, damn it. Lastly, for Sartre, we are free to dismantle capitalism. I'm with him so far. Money is a thing. Money is the thing that makes us think we're not free. We can't go over there because we don't have the money to go over there. So if we just disregard capitalism, we can do whatever we want. Oh, I can't go to this posh shindig because I don't have the right shoes. Well, number one, yes you can. Number two, money isn't real. Just steal the shoes. Because it doesn't matter. We're free. Fuck it. It's like, again, and this is, it's a very YOLO, very fuck it kind of mentality. I quite like it. So I'm, broadly speaking, I'm with him so far. Sartre took so many drugs that for several days he thought crabs were chasing him. He also had a series of mistresses, one of which he was so fond of that he adopted her as his daughter. He loved fucking this woman so much that he was like, you know what would better represent our relationship? Me being your adopted father.
I mean, it's better than the other way round.
Certainly. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right there.
I mean, it's still not great.
It's still not great.
It's still weird. But it's less of a crime, I suppose.
Yeah. It's
not something that I'm putting on my bucket list.
No. Sorry, I was trying to remind myself of the name of a person, and I have not.
Is it Steve?
No.
Is it Barnable Jones?
No. Let's.
Quincy Smythe.
Let's not worry. You're just making up. I suppose all names are made up. Humans are weird. Don't think about it for too long. Ben, who's your philosopher? Yeah, everything's made up.
All humans are made up. Now, knowing that pronunciation is difficult, actually contacted a friend of a friend who's a Greek lady called Katerina.
Mm-hmm.
My philosopher is... Turn the volume of my phone down. Hang on. Diogenes.
It's Diogenes.
Diogenes, but he was Greek, and the Greek person said it's
Yeah,
Diogenes.
we're not Greek.
I'm
We speak a different language.
I'm going to say Diogenes from now on, but I wanted it to be pronounced right at least once.
Yeah.
So now I am fully aware that I'm saying it in a bastardized English manner.
He's dead. He's not going to come at you. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
He's well dead.
He's so dead.
He was born either in 412 or 404 year not found BC.
Nice. Yeah.
In what would be modern day Turkey. He's one of the first cynics, and I think that he is possibly the creator of sass. Because as far as I'm aware, how did we say his name was? Diogenes?
Diogenes.
Diogenes.
It's like the easiest name. I've got fucking Sartre
Yeah,
and Nietzsche, and you're struggling with Diogenes. I swear to God.
Okay, I've heard of Nietzsche.
Yeah.
Not heard of Diogenes until within the last week when I was researching this.
It's like you didn't study philosophy.
I did. Reasons that we discussed earlier. Yeah, I feel like Diogenes is... He feels like my spirit animal, to be honest. He feels like if I were playing Dungeons and Dragons and put everything on charisma and just wandered about doing whatever the fuck I wanted, Diogenes would be the dude that you became. He slept in a jug.
Yep.
He just hung out. Whilst I was talking about this with my friend and by extension their Greek friend, they just, oh yeah, he was peculiar. He lived like a beggar in a big ceramic pot and ate lentils. He was a cynic. Invented zero fucks given.
Yeah. Yeah.
He travelled to Athens, where the most, with a young slave named Manes. His slave escaped. Good for Manes. As, again, discussed earlier in the stream, slavery bad. But Diogenes, not giving a shit, said if Manes can live without Diogenes, why not Diogenes without Manes? True? Not true. What do you mean not true? He's got a point. He's not wrong. He was a pupil of Socrates. He asked Socrates to mentor him. He despised Plato. He hung out with good, proper thinkers. He wasn't just a weirdo. He must have had some good stuff going on in his brain, whilst just taking the piss out of Plato. This is where I think the sass and the zero fucks given came from. He considered Plato to be a phony. He would go to Plato's lectures, to his lectures, where Plato was giving his teachings. He would bring food to try and distract the listeners. He would publicly masturbate. And would even go and take a shit on Plato's chair. Why? Just to fuck with people. He met Alexander the Great. I believe at the time, probably the most powerful man in the known world.
Yeah.
I think he Alexander wept for there were no more lands to conquer. Knowing the size of the world now, he didn't conquer a huge amount, but he conquered a hell of a lot, more than me.
Oh, certainly.
I live in a shared house.
Yeah. But we're living in late stage capitalism. That's not our fault. He didn't have to have money. He just did stuff.
That's true. You're not wrong. Diogenes was captured by pirates and sold in Crete to a Corinthian by the name Xeniades.
Yeah, I can believe
I've not
that.
sent that to Liam. I've not asked a Greek person how you pronounce that, so it's the only time I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
And then, weirdly enough, as I have rehearsals for Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat tomorrow, it was kind of a Joseph sort of story. Diogenes just sort of showed that he didn't know any trade. He said that he knew no trade but the governing of men. And demanded to be sold to a man who needed a master. Sass. So he's greatly appreciated for his wit and his spirit. So he started tutoring his master's sons. Sort of like rose through the ranks of the house. And Alexander the Great, whilst visiting Crete, visited Diogenes and asked if there was anything that Alexander could do for him. Diogenes said, "Yes, move out of my light." Told the most powerful man in all of knowledge, "You just fuck off out of my son, please." As a response, Alexander declared, "If I were not Alexander the Great, then I should wish to be Diogenes." To which Diogenes responded, "If I were not Diogenes, I too should wish to be Diogenes."
Do you know how Diogenes died?
As I said, that was going to be my very next thing. This is my interesting bit, because there's a few accounts.
Yes.
As far as I'm aware, no one's 100% sure.
No.
But the bits, the three examples that I have found, and these are my favourite ones. It could be, some claim that he was bitten by a dog and got sick and died from that. Some say that he died from eating a raw octopus. I don't feel like he would have done that sushi style. I had an image of him just ramming a full live octopus into his face because, fucking why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And my favourite one, and it may not be true because of how the human body works, but I really hope it is. Some of his compatriots allege that he held his breath until he died.
Yep.
And I have this image of him just stubbornly...
Yeah, he just needed to win.
Until just passes out, and even then, unconsciously, just raising a middle finger...
Yep.
Expires.
Yeah.
He said that when he died, that someone asked how he wanted to be treated after he died, and he just said, "Chuck me outside the walls for the animals."
Yeah. Yeah. He's the thing I like about Diogenes, his whole sort of guiding principle was like the measure of a person should be in their actions rather than in their material worth or their standing in society. And he totally he did that. That's why he lived like a
pot.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he lived like that, which is rare, I guess. Good stuff.
There's two things that I wanted to say. He, again, challenging thought processes. Something that I would consider philosophy. He used to wander around in the daytime with a lantern, going through the streets, saying that he was looking for an honest man.
Yeah.
And there's just a quote from a website that I was using to study him that I really love, which he would do things that would leave people in awe, trying to figure out how his mind actually worked. And from the things that I've been able to find out, I don't think anyone knows.
No, probably not.
And for that, challenging how people think. I really like. People are probably going to come at me and just say, "Oh yeah, he was an absolute piece of shit, and he was a wank stain on the face of history."
I mean,
but from
philosophers
what I know
kind
at
of are.
This moment, I like him.
Yeah. I mean, all philosophers are a little bit like that. You've got to be quite self-involved to think that your life is important enough to not work at Tesco's. Speaking of not working at Tesco's, what do you know about Nietzsche, Ben? Friedrich Nietzsche.
Again, going back on the things that he wanted to fuck his sister.
Ha. No,
and his mum.
He hated his family.
No, he was in. I thought he was in love with his sister. Was he not?
I don't know about.
I'm basing that off of one line from the movie The Day After Tomorrow. That's it.
Okay. As far as I know,
there's a lot of Oedipus thoughts.
As far as I know, he basically hated his entire family. But that could be like a weird, I don't know, secretly wanting to bang situation.
Liam.
Hello.
Ask me again. What do I know about Nietzsche?
What do you know about Nietzsche?
Not much. You've probably done some research and would know more than I.
Yeah, fair. Nietzsche was born in 1844, wanted to bang his sister. Born in 1844 in Germany, West Germany, if that makes a difference. He invented nihilism, which, as a recovering metalhead, let me tell you, is all about the meaninglessness of life.
Yep.
Sartre taught people should own up to envy. Envy isn't a bad thing. Envy is an indicator of what you as a person could become. We should fight to be what we want to be, even if we don't get there. Fighting hard and trying real hard is what makes us supermen. Christianity bad. Christianity teaches that envy is bad. If ambition is a sin, then you're going to be weak and flimsy, right? Why do you want to be weak and flimsy? What's the point in that? He also thought that Christianity was essentially built to justify people's weaknesses. So if anyone wasn't good at shagging, they would turn it into a positive thing. They would be pure. Weakness would be spun into goodness. Submissiveness became obedience. Not being able to take revenge on enemies became forgiveness. So he basically believed that Christianity was a whole big pile of nonsense. Like, if you were a Christian, you weren't going to be a strong, good person. You know, I see the logic there.
I'm following you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to agree just yet because I feel that there's a but, and I'm not sure if that's necessarily the right way of thinking about forgiveness and empathy and stuff.
Prepare to be fully put off of Nietzsche. Nietzsche was teetotal. He believed that alcohol reduced pain.
Boo!
Quite. Alcohol reduces pain.
It does. That's the whole point.
Yeah. But if you reduce pain, it means you're not going to improve your life. So the same deal as Christianity, alcohol is there to make you feel better about being a little piss baby. Whereas actually you should not be a little piss baby.
Sure.
Instead of religion, we should fill our lives with art, music, theatre, literature. But he didn't like the way that universities approached and taught culture. He thought that culture shouldn't be studied in an academic way. He preferred the way that Greek theatre taught morality and life lessons through allegory and art. Go on.
I have a feeling where this is the bit where it's taking a real turn, isn't it?
No, well, in terms of his belief systems, we're done. That's the end of his belief systems. But yes, we are entering the final act where it goes a bit wrong. Hitler.
Yeah. There it is.
There it is. Hitler. Actual Hitler. I sense a Hitler. There's a Hitler
coming.
There's
going to be a big bit and then just Hitler.
There it is.
We are.
Hitler took on a lot of Nietzsche's principles and sort of used that to guide Nazi thought. Countries needing strong leadership, into it. But they sort of glossed over the fact that Nietzsche himself was staunchly anti-racist and anti-nationalist. So he did that thing that all dickweeds do, where you sort of pick and choose at what little bits of philosophy you wanna live by. Nietzsche saw a man punch a horse and he went mad.
What, the horse or the man or Nietzsche?
We didn't get a quote from the horse, but Nietzsche certainly did. He went mad for 11 years and then died. His family was so annoyed with him that they just stuck him in an asylum and were like, you fucking deal with him. And whilst he was mad, he thought himself to be alternately Jesus, Napoleon, and Buddha, which implies that those 3 people are the same person. Sorry, those 4 people were all the same person.
Might be the same height.
Could be the same height. We don't know. Nietzsche. Da 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 da.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, he saw a man punch a horse, and that drove him insane. My God, can you imagine if he played Red Dead Redemption?
There was a carriage or something, and the driver kept beating the horse to make it go, and the horse was just stood there And then Nietzsche ran.
What to the horse?
Giving him a big wank. He was just whipping him or beating him or something, and the horse wasn't moving. So Nietzsche saw that. He ran up and hugged the horse and was like, "I know how you feel, buddy." And then he went mad for 11 years and died in an asylum.
I feel like if he ran up and was hugging a horse, he might have gone a bit before that. I mean, this was before hippies and Extinction Rebellion and that sort of stuff.
This was the thing
Don't get me wrong. Hug a horse. Don't
Yeah.
hit the horses.
No.
That's mean. But
it was...
I don't know if he went...
It was,
don't know if he
for
can
some
use
reason...
the being in the presence of a hit horse to think that he's Christ.
It apparently just sent him into a spiral. It triggered something in him, and he just went, and he was not the same. And because he was really antagonistic towards his family, they didn't want to deal with him, so they just shoved him in an asylum until he died. Nietzsche.
That's kind of sad.
We were talking earlier about philosophy in the modern day and whether we need to update sort of established classic philosophical allegory or philosophical ideas. Did you have a thing for this one?
I mean, I've updated one, but it's really quite depressing.
Go on, let's have it.
So it's sort of it's a play on a classic.
Yeah.
And also a criticism of modern day society.
Yeah.
Cogito ergo sum.
Oh yeah.
Which is Latin for I think therefore I am. René Descartes.
Descartes.
Thank you. Yeah, showing meaning that the only thing that we can prove in our reality, the only thing that we can be 100% certain of, is the fact that we exist. If we are capable of thinking, do I exist, then we know that we must do, because we are self-aware. Everything else is up for interpretation.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, there's a chance that I'm just a little brain in a jar somewhere. And I'm just imagining all of this.
It's the Matrix.
Or I'm a dream. It's a it's the Matrix. So I made this into I changed it to you like, therefore I am. Meaning that the modern day of thinking for social media and such stuff like that. It's more like I must take a picture of this and share it online, otherwise it didn't happen.
Right, yeah.
If I don't do that, if I don't do that, then no one will see that I have done this, and therefore it won't have a meaning. And if people don't like that, then people haven't seen it, so I am not validated. So I feel that I do not exist.
You're on the verge of stumbling into boomer humor there, but like,
oh, no,
I don't disagree with you. I think there's.
I'm not saying this to try and be funny.
No, I appreciate that. No, I think
I'm advocating turning off notifications and putting your fucking phone down.
It's all about validation, isn't it? The reason we do things like that is because we want to be noticed. Because as a generation, millennials especially, were brought up to believe you can be anything, you can do anything you want. But now we're all in our 30s, sort of trying to do what we want, and the world is telling us, why aren't the shelves stacked? And we're like, because you told me to be a fucking nurse, so you told me I could be a podcaster. You said that was a valid thing to do, so rather than complaining, like, okay, I need some of my peers to like my cat photo to make me feel a little better. Yeah. Like, that's the thing we should be tackling.
At the risk of sounding like Tyler Durden, we are all realising that we are not going to be rock stars and supermodels, and people are getting a little pissed off.
Yeah.
We're not going the Fight Club route. People are getting pissed off, but they're also getting desperate and posting pictures of their sandwiches every single day.
Yeah.
Because they seek validation through that medium, which you shouldn't.
Yes.
You shouldn't necessarily seek validation for that. Be validated. Find people who make you feel that way, but not at the sake of your own sanity.
Yes. Yeah, I think it is important.
You should not obsess over people liking something that you put on a social media platform that may well disappear within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
That's the other thing. You don't own any of it. It's all very fleeting, kind of by design. Yeah, I basically I like your twist on it. I think there's something in that. It is a little bit.
I'm putting that in, but you're meant to think the other way.
Yes. Yeah.
So you like, therefore I am, but you should take that and think, that's stupid.
I see what
it's not the way to think.
The philosophy that I updated is called Plato's Cave. Plato's Cave is an allegory that I'm not going to say. I definitely studied it. I didn't learn it at sixth form because it didn't make a damn bit of sense at the time. Plato's Cave is okay. The thing about the early philosopher, actually a lot of philosophical texts, is that they're not straightforward with what they want you to think. They cover it in allegory and story, and then you're supposed to discern the meaning from that. Fucking hard. What you need is a post-it saying he means this, and that. Okay, I'll read the poem now. Great. Now that I know what he's actually saying. So I've updated Plato's Cave in a way that I think makes it a little more accessible, kind of makes a little more sense. And it's essentially an allegory to explain the nature of truth and reality. The original Plato's Cave was part of Plato's Republic, which you can buy, I suppose. It's kind of what Inception and I think The Matrix are based on, sort of. And it's to do with levels of reality and things with it inside of things. So, Ben, what I'd like you to do is imagine you're wearing a VR headset. You've worn one of those before, right?
Wait.
Okay.
Got it.
Got it?
Yeah.
So you're wearing a VR headset. You can walk around a 3D environment. You can interact with things. There's an apple, and you can pick it up. There's a little bit of lag there. So the apple is sort of following behind your hand ever so slightly, but you have picked up that apple. There's some friends here as well. You can sort of wave at them. There's a few dropped frames, but you can make out that Tony's doing a little dance. Very funny.
Tony.
He's doing a little dance.
I hear your chocolate may or may not have sleeves.
Occasionally your friends will bug out, and sometimes the apple will disappear and then pop back in. you've worn the headset for so long, that's just how things are. This is normal to you. You've compensated for the delay in the Apple, and you just move your hand slower now. One day you trip over the cord, and the VR headset falls off.
Oh no!
Oh no! And you open your eyes, and you experience life as it really is. Everything is smooth. It's much better than 4K. You're aware of smells again. There's no bugs. You don't feel seasick all the time. It's much better.
Oh, it is better.
And you plug your headset back in, you pop in there, and you tell Tony and your friends, man, it is much better out there. Do you want to go down the pub?
Tony, stop! Put the chocolate down. Let's go to the boozer. We'll have a baby Guinness.
And Tony and his mates are all like, "What do you want about? This is this is it. This is all there is. There's nothing outside of this. We can go to the pub in here."
Ooh.
So, what I'm getting at is, what if we're right now all of the time wearing a VR headset? So even though I'm looking around, there's no lag. It's at least 5K. But if I tripped over the cord, I would experience life as it actually is on a higher plane of existence, at least 6K, and even fewer dropped frames. And that higher plane would be what's actually real. And I would be aware, what I had before is not as nice, it's not as beautiful, it's not as true. That's Plato's headset. And it's all to do with what's real, what plane are we living on. The original Plato's cave was to do with prisoners trapped in a cave. And behind them is a fireplace, and someone, for fucking no reason, is passing objects in front of this fire, and the prisoners are seeing these things, these silhouettes of things, these shadows of things, passed over the fire, and they're seeing them on the wall. So like, that's what a horse is. That's a horse. It's the shape of a horse. Oh, that's a book. That's a pen. That's
like shadow puppets, but
exactly like shadow puppets. But the thing is, that's what they believe to be real. And one day, one of these dudes realizes, I'm actually not chained down anymore. That's weird. And he pisses off outside, and he experiences everything in 3D. He sees an actual horse. He goes on OnlyFans for a few minutes. He has a great time. And he goes back into the cave, and he tells
2 minutes is all it takes once you've been in a cave.
Exactly. And he goes back into the cave, and he tells his mates, it's way better out there. And they're like, what are you on about, you madman? This is real. Don't know what you're saying. So but like when you're trying to read that and it's several chapters long, and it's really sunny outside, and you just want to go get drunk with your friends because you're 17, like it's way harder to focus. And I wish someone had just. Although in fairness, when I was at sixth form, we didn't have VR headsets, so that would have been no good for me back then. But there you go, Plato's VR headset. That's my gift to you. Thank you.
Very, very well thought out. Very well.
Thank you.
Demonstrated.
Do we have anything to talk about now? And in terms of philosophy, is that all the philosophy?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yes. Is there more?
I mean, I was going to say we've got something to talk about, Liam.
Well, we've got the plugs and the good news, haven't we?
We've got a fancy announcement.
Well, that's the good news, which happens after the plug, doesn't it?
That's good news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, right, hang on. Let me write down the time. Do you have a plug to make, Ben?
I do have a plug. It's not the plug that I was originally going to discuss.
Okay.
My original plug was going to be for decent internet cookery videos.
Yeah, fair.
Because particularly on Facebook, there have been some god-awful cookery videos.
Right.
And I know that I'm to blame for watching them. And because I have watched them, more will happen.
Yeah.
And yes, you should challenge yourself in the kitchen. You should try new things. You should push boundaries. You should experiment. It's fun. That's what it's meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
But some of you all deserve to be in prison.
Okay.
Any steak recipe
Mm.
that starts with melt 5 pounds of butter
That's too much butter.
that's not a steak dish anymore. That is cardiac arrest and hell for someone who's lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
And the ones where like, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take our meatballs that have Gouda in the middle, that have pancetta in the middle of that, and have goldfish in the middle of that we've talked down, so he's fully invested in being part of this culinary experience. This is perfect. We're going to roll it around. Oh, that's what we... Stop it! Make fucking meatballs.
But,
Stop
like...
fannying about... I know some
people,
of it's for entertainment.
People must watch them.
I know all of this shit. And I know this is the thing as well. People watch them.
Yeah.
Thousands of people watch them. Some of them have millions of views, and I am aware that I am among them.
Yeah.
But I hate them so much. I'm not going to name the names of some of the companies because, as I said, they are doing something. They are making money. They are successful in what they're doing. I haven't got a cookery show. Well, I've got the thing where I eat stuff, but we've not got many videos of that out.
That's the opposite of a cooking show.
And it's making poop.
Yeah.
It's the early stages of poop making.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm not saying it. So my plug was originally going to be better actual cooking videos like sorted food, binging with Babish, those sorts of things. Watch those. It's a better experience. You'll learn more. It's great. That's what I was going to go with.
Well, thank God you didn't go with that.
But thank heavens I didn't, because that would be sad. Instead, I'm going for something a little sad. I was very happy this week.
Mm-hmm.
New season of Bake Off is on,
Mm-hmm.
another good cooking thing. New season of Taskmaster has started, and new episodes of Final Space is on UK Netflix, and I assume on other countries' Netflixes. But I found out that it's been cancelled.
Final Space.
Season 3 is the final season of Final Space.
Yeah.
That TBS are making.
Yep.
And I've not watched the video from the creator because I found out while I was at work, and it's 8 minutes long, and I didn't want to be sad because apparently it's a very emotional video. I will go and watch it, possibly after the season I've finished season 3. But my plug is going to be Final Space.
Good.
What I would like everyone who sees this video to do, and encourage your friends to do so also, watch Final Space. It's a great series. It's daft, it's funny, it's a bit stupid, but then there's moments of real heartfelt. You know, you think, oh, I'm not going to care about these characters. This is just a bit... And then you're sort of on the edge of your seat going, oh no, wait, hang on, watch it. Give it a thumbs up. Do what I've done. Start watching it on your friend's Netflix account. Like it on there. And every single Netflix account that you can possibly do, give it a thumbs up. What I want to happen is what happened when Brooklyn Nine-Nine got cancelled. That was cancelled, and within like 3 hours or something stupid like that, it got picked up by another network. I want people to go, like it, watch it, thumbs up, talk about it, everything. I want Netflix to pick up Final Space, and I want more episodes, and I want more to happen. Let's do it.
I like Final Space. I like Final Space a lot. I'm quite happy for it to end. To be really controversial, because it's good. It's a complete thing.
I wouldn't mind it ending, but it needs. I've not finished season 3, but by the sounds of from the news that I've got, it doesn't sound like it finished.
Okay, that's a different situation then.
End.
Yeah.
Even if it's just one more season or a movie.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it deserves an ending.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
I would love it to have an ending, and I'm sure so many other people would.
Yeah.
And you go out, watch it, and I'm sure you will as well.
Yeah.
Give it a thumbs up, share it, all that stuff.
I'm with you there. I like it when things actually end, but if they haven't tied a bow on like the central story, that's not a great ending. Cosmic Cushy, how's it going, my man? My plug is sort of related to what we've been talking about today. I'd like to. They don't need my plug, but they're getting it anyway. YouTube channel Philosophy Tube. Philosophy Tube is great. The interesting thing about Philosophy Tube is it's not necessarily about philosophy by itself, but it's kind of about unpicking. I'm going to go to Philosophy Tube and I'm going to read out their description because I feel like I didn't make notes. I'm going to fess up. I didn't make notes for the plug. Philosophy Tube. Go Google.
Google. Gadget Google.
There is no information there. That's really unhelpful. If you'd like to think about... I'm vamping now. I'm falling back on my marketing specialism.
You vamp. You do your plug. You Google the things.
Are you going to go pee
I'm going to go get rid of more coffee. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's I do this or I piss myself live on the internet, which I'm sure there is a forum for, but I don't think this is it. We've not got to that point yet.
I don't know, man.
If you'd like me to piss myself on stream live, tune into the next live stream, donate to the Patreon, and I'll do it.
That's a bit full on.
Capitalism.
I think we need to really set a bar as to when Ben is going to go pee himself publicly, because if say literally 2 or 3 people go and sign up to our Patreon, which would be lovely by the way, I don't know. I feel like that's enough for him then to publicly piss himself on stream. I feel like we need to set a cap. We need to set a tier on that. So I'm going to say, if our income increases 200 quid between now and the next live stream, and I'm going to include Twitch subs, I'm going to include Patreon patronage. If we get 200 quid, yeah, I'm going to make Ben piss himself. I think he took his headphones out. I'm not sure. So if he doesn't know that that's the bar, then I think that's even better. I think it'd be wonderful to just sort of call him up, just like, yeah, something happened. You're going to have to do that thing you said you wouldn't do. My plug is Philosophy Tube. Philosophy Tube is a fantastic YouTube channel. Really great at just making you think different ways about things. I'm just going to read off some of the recent video titles. Social Constructs, Ignorance and Censorship. A few videos about Jordan Peterson. That's fun. Capital Punishment and Prison Abolition. Charles Darwin versus Karl Marx. So lots of stuff about philosophical ideas. There's a video there of H. Bomber Guy. Loads of good stuff.
Charles Darwin versus Charles Dance, was that?
Charles Darwin versus Karl Marx.
Karl Marx. I would like to point out, yes, I did have my headphones in during that entire time, and I will say, £200, I'm sure, is a lot to increase. Piss! I was about to mock you for saying income instead of income, and I said inkeese, which really fucks me up. But now I'm going to have to piss myself for a measly 200 quid.
If you eat in quiche, you're going to get in crumbs everywhere. Philosophy Tube. Ta-da! I'm going to hit the bumper for good news. Here it is.
Good news, everyone!
I need to change that audio from something that isn't just stolen from Futurama, to be honest. Yeah, there's heckin' news. We've done a thing. The good news is about us for today. So we didn't go and research what lonely squirrels set up a Love Island show by themselves. We haven't done that today. There's good animal news already. Oh, did you already?
To be fair, I did.
Okay.
But I forgot that this was the good news. I
Right.
thought it was going to be a separate thing. But hey, I'll keep it for next time.
Yeah. Just saved you a
Mine
job
was
there,
about
haven't I?
rhinos.
Oh, have they set up their own version of Love Island or something?
Shut up! I'll tell you next month.
I don't really know what the appropriate order to do this in is, Ben. Do we just say what it is?
As you may know, if you are listeners to the podcast, and I'm sure you are if you're listening to this. If you're not, you're just watching the live stream, in which case you may not know.
What is knowledge?
What is love, baby? Don't hurt me no more. That's a song, which is interesting because we write songs.
We do.
We
use them in the podcast.
We write songs and we record songs.
You can't stop me writing songs. That's my whole thing.
The reason we made the podcast was to have a platform to put our comedy sketches and some of our funny songs.
Yeah, it's true.
Out there into the world.
Yeah.
And what our lovely, I guess, what the Patreons have helped us do, as well as people who watch and listen and all that shit, enabled us to put together a little album of some of those songs. Some of those songs, some original, some we have given a bit of spit and polish to, some we've redone, made them all fancy, some may even be a little taste of something new.
Mm-hmm.
There's a way you can find out there's a way you can find out if there's anything new on there. Liam, tell them about that while I light up a cigarette like a cool dude.
So we are in let me see. In a couple weeks, we're gonna release the track list on the 7th of October. We're gonna put that out on Twitter and all the usual places, so you'll be able to look through and see what tracks you recognise. If you recognise the track name, having heard it on the podcast, it will be a new version of that song. I don't think there's anything in there that is as you have already heard it, and there's some completely new stuff as well. And when I say new versions, some of them have gained like an entire extra verse and chorus. Some of them are just better recordings. We're calling it a mixtape rather than an album because it exists in terms of duration kind of between an EP and an album. So we're just calling it a mixtape because we're not restricted by your ideas.
We've only got a cassette
format.
recorder.
Yeah, we've only got a cassette recorder. Oh, actually, that reminds me. So one of our patrons asked if there would be a cassette release. I said no, but genuinely, if you have a spare cassette and you post it to us, I will do a cassette master and send it back to you. That's my promise to you. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way, but if you go through the effort of sending me a cassette, and ideally with a return stamped envelope, I will send you it back with songs on. That is my promise.
We will happily tape over your old top 40 from 1996.
I may even record like a bespoke message that only you will receive. I record it
That's
backwards.
an exciting thing.
That is an exciting idea, isn't it?
Somewhere.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
The mixtape comes out on a month from today, just short of a month today, the 24th of October, which is the next live stream date as well. So as well as doing a spoopy Halloween themed live stream, we're also going to talk a heckload about this new music. I've got two things to show you. I need to try and remember, where's the button? There it is. Okay.
It's on the thing.
There's a button which goes to my full screen, but my full screen is Ben's face. So I'm going to try and put this thing full screen whilst also replacing Ben's face. Bam! Nailed it. It's the artwork, baby! Look at that! Look at that shit!
Look at us!
Look at us!
Look at him!
It's got me.
There's a hat and everything.
Is me. Is Ben. And
It's me.
It's the hat, and it's coming to get us.
Look at little cartoon us.
I love the artwork, man.
It's coming to get us. It's coming to get you. It's coming to get you in your ears with all our musical shit.
With all of our shit. If you're on Twitter or Instagram, please do look up Voratoni. I'm really pleased with the work they've done for us there.
Yeah.
Good work, buddy. Bosh, that's that. There is, I'm going to put it in the chat now, a pre-save link. The pre-save link, a very powerful tool. If you click on it, you'll go to a... you're laughing at the word tool, aren't you?
Just the way you said it.
Thank you.
Powerful tool.
Powerful tool. If you go to this show.co link, it's a website that will... You'll press a couple buttons, and when the mixtape is released, it will be on your Spotify home screen. You will have already followed it. You will have already followed the Conversation Hat as an artist on Spotify. It's done all of those buttons for you. If you just...
How easy is that?
I know. You press a couple buttons. I think you either link Spotify or you sign into Spotify. Yeah, it's great. Saves you a whole bunch of work. And if you do that, it works best for us because when you release something, especially to Spotify, it's the first couple of days, how many listeners you get in the first couple of days that impact how many more people show data, numbers, algorithms.
So don't explain that. It's not for us. It's for you.
Can I something really dumb? Something really dumb that excites me.
Go on.
This is going out to all digital platforms. You know what is a digital platform that shouldn't be a digital music platform?
Tinder.
TikTok. The tracks are going out to TikTok. So if you want to choreograph, a dumb little dance routine, yeah,
do little dances.
Do little dances.
And I think if we get enough of them, I think we should pick like the best ones, and I'm putting Liam in for this as well. We will recreate them.
Oh, hell's yeah. 100%.
We will recreate them.
100%.
We'll do, I don't know, TikTok. We'll stitch it. We'll put you in the thing, and we'll be like, bang.
Bang. There it goes. So that's the pre-save link.
Dances.
You make a dance and we'll do the dance. Click the heckin' button. Get that on your Spotify pre-save. And in a month from today, just short of a month from today, October 24th, there will be music on Spotify for you. If you don't happen to use Spotify, it's all good. It's going to go out to Amazon, Apple Music, Deezer, YouTube Music, all the places. All the places you want music.
Not Tinder.
Will be. I don't know if Tinder is technically a music platform. I'm going to assume not.
I mean, we could
TikTok.
make a Tinder for the album.
That sounds... on the face of it, a bad idea that weirdly I'm into.
Yeah.
So that's the big heckin' news. There is an album.
Honey,
it's
what's
gonna be
Tinder doing on your phone?
Work.
Just for music.
Doing work.
I get it for the articles.
I'm there for the fucking of strangers. I mean,
make friends.
Make friends with genitals. Fuck. Honesty's important, man. Ben, you got anything else to say to the lovelies?
Oh, thanks for listening.
Yeah, man. Cheers.
Thanks for joining us and listening to our inane babble about arguably inane babble. It's philosophy, innit?
Mate,
It's what you make of it.
We babbled so hard.
If you didn't enjoy this, it's your fault for not understanding it.
If we babbled so hard, you would have thought we were Brooke.
Baby.
Babbling Brooke. Lovely.
Babbly Brooke.
Ben, where are you online? Where can people find you?
I am on Instagram, Spike Pierson, Pierson. You can see pictures of my life, which is pretty much what Instagram is.
Yeah, that's true.
I've thought about making my Instagram a themed thing, but I'll be honest, I'd post less.
Yeah, fair.
Because
yeah,
that's work.
Yeah, true.
You'll get honesty. You'll get honesty on my Instagram.
I am at LT Guitarist on all the things. I hang out most of the time on Twitter. That's where I thrive. The Conversation Hat is at Convo Hat Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, all the usual places. We do these monthly live streams going out to Twitch and YouTube. These are turned into episodes about a week from now. So if you're listening to this as an episode, in 3 weeks there'll be another live stream. In fact, in 3 weeks, a week from now, there'll be an album as well, which is Good.
Exciting.
Come hang out on the Discord. The Discord is a cool place to be. There's links all over the Twitter. You can find that. If you make stuff, we want to see the stuff you make. Sincerely. And lastly, we'd like to thank our Patreon Podbaby supporters who've helped us develop the show over the years. It's because of the Patreon, it's because of the patronage that we're able to release a mixtape, and we'll probably be able to do so again in the future. We've possibly made
it'd be quite sad if we released mixtape 1.
Yeah, it's called Mixtape Volume 1, so I think it's very important there's more than one. It's happened because of patronage of supporters like you, and we're really grateful for that.
We love you and appreciate you.
It's pretty rad.
Genuinely.
We've also got some really good recorded episodes coming up. I'm not going to reveal guests just yet because I'm cursed, and when I say who's on the podcast, we're going to lose the episode, aren't we? So I'm just going to keep it under wraps for a little bit.
The entire hard drive might get corrupted and we lose so much work.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
It's all good. It's all good.
We'll try it again.
Whilst there's a few of us, I'm going to set up a little raid. Let's choose someone to raid.
The raid!
The raid, of course, only works on Twitch. But that's
that's what they are.
That's the nature of reality.
I don't have it on YouTube because that's not how YouTube is.
So I'm just going to keep talking until the raid kicks in.
Liam, answer me this question.
Okay.
What is your favourite Pokemon?
Cubone.
Okay, now make it sexy.
Cubone in a thong.
I mean, you picked a pretty good one with Cubone.
Sexy one, I know he is. I think we're over on DVD Smith now, so we can, I think, safely end the stream. Thanks, YouTubers.
Right, it's happening. Woo!
All right, bye bye. Press all the buttons in it. Bye.
Love it all.
Let's talk about Jesus. Let's talk about God as well. Because if you don't believe in Jesus or God, then you'll probably go to hell. Unless you don't believe in hell, which I guess that you wouldn't. In which case it's fine. I won't see you in hell. Where do all the bad colours go when they break the law? They get sent to prison.